We are talking all about DeMarcus Lawrence here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. But before we get to that, folks, we want to give him a warm welcome from the 12s and make our voices heard loud and clear that we are rooting him on. If you believe in DeMarcus Lawrence and think that he's going to have a fantastic tenure with your Seattle Seahawks, hit that like button. And who knows? He may be watching somebody close to him. We want to make sure that we get all the good vibes headed his direction and let him know we're rooting him on. Smash that like button. We'll get started with today's show. We have some surprising news to get to on DeMarcus Lawrence. Welcome in to this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Schultz, here with you. Thanks for joining us. And I'll say this much, folks, to kind of set the scene for you here. We're calling this surprising news, but it's a pleasant surprise when it comes to the star pass rusher and the impact that he's already making on this Seattle Seahawks team. The new sheriff in town already is making his presence known in a multitude of ways, and he was one of the big talks over this past week at Seahawks Minicamp about what he's done to get involved and leading the younger guys and how well he's already looked to this point. And before we show you what they are saying about DeMarcus Lawrence, let's kind of just get to know DeMarcus Lawrence a little bit further here. A former second-round pick out of Boise State by the Cowboys. He had a fantastic run from 2017 to 2023 when he was selected to 4 different Pro Bowl appearances and also was named a second-team All-Pro in 2017. And with DeMarcus Lawrence, it has been, let's put it this way, a while since we've seen him play his absolute best that he's capable of playing. But last year, prior to the season-ending injury, he was off to one of the best starts of his entire career with 3 sacks in 4 games, along with 5 QB hits, 14 tackles, 4 TFLs, and 1 forced fumble. So if you are the Seattle Seahawks and Mike Macdonald here, you're looking at DeMarcus Lawrence and you're saying, hey, we liked what we saw for the small sample size in 2024. How can we get that to happen again, but for the length of a full season and for him to stay healthy? I'll put it this way. When it comes to DeMarcus Lawrence, he is a bad mother. He is that dude, right? This is a guy you do not want to mess with by any stretch of the imagination, and I think that he's going to give offenses a ton of fits with what he's going to bring to this Seattle Seahawks defense that was already pretty good last season without him. So, what are they exactly saying about DeMarcus Lawrence? Let's go over 3 things you need to know, beginning with number 1. He's not quiet by any means. And in fact, when he first signed with the Seahawks, he was pretty vocal right away in what he was saying about joining this team and the trash talk that he had about his former team, the Dallas Cowboys, and all of that. And that was kind of just the start of things. And that's already transitioned to the football field. And it's caught the eye of one of his new teammates, Leonard Williams, who said this: the type of leadership and mindset that he brings to the team is just phenomenal. He's a dog. He speaks a lot. He plays hard. He's going into year 12, and he's out there practicing harder than some of the rookies. So we're just getting on the rookies, like saying, okay, this is an example. This guy is going into year 12. He has nothing to prove, but he's out there working his craft as hard as he can every single day. And from what we've read and the reports that have been out there, basically DeMarcus Lawrence, to put it simply, when he speaks, you listen. He grabs everyone's attention. The respect is already there with him. And I think that not only are you going to see him play at a high level, I think he's going to make his teammates around him better, especially these young guys. I am thrilled. And I'll be honest, we haven't talked a ton about DeMarcus Lawrence as there's been so much attention paid to the offense with Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp and all that. But believe me, DeMarcus Lawrence, if, and it's a big if, he's healthy, I think he's going to have a big season. What do you guys think? Prediction time. Will DeMarcus Lawrence have a big season in 2025? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Type Y for yes, in for no. Tell us in the comment section below. Folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today, as we are bringing you daily Seahawks news and rumors, weekly live shows. We also have breaking news, Q&A mailbags. We're doing our Madden Sim season. I want to get at least 20 subs off today's video. If you want to hear more about guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, you've come to the right place. We are bringing you in-depth coverage you won't find anywhere else right here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. You'll be glad you did. Now, one thing that I find interesting when it comes to D-Law is that he does not take plays off. And when you looked back at OTAs, for example, that was optional. It was voluntary. He was there. He was excited to be there. In fact, you had 100% attendance from the Seahawks at OTAs, which was really telling. And he's not taking anything off. And we told you what Leonard Williams had to say, calling him a dog. He wasn't the only one to reference him as a canine. As AD, the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, who worked with DeMarcus Lawrence previously with the Dallas Cowboys, he said that when it comes to DeMarcus Lawrence, he brings a dog mentality. Here's more from AD. He's going to come out here and he's going to play first and second down the same way he plays third down. He's going to get after it. That's one of the reasons why he's here. And you think about some of these older players in the National Football League. A lot of these guys, they tend to look for opportunities to take a little break, get a breath of fresh air, a little water, aren't the same player every single play. Don't give 100% effort all the time. And with what we're hearing from DeMarcus Lawrence of how he's approaching the offseason program and with what he's doing with his other teammates, he is all in. He is fully invested in every single way, shape, or form, despite being an older guy. He's been there, done that before. He doesn't really have anything to prove, but yet he is just fully invested. To me, I think that's a big deal, and that's going to pay dividends, and that's going to trickle down from everybody else. True or false? DeMarcus Lawrence will lead the Seahawks in sacks this season. You got two options here. Type T for true, F for false. Maybe there's somebody else that comes to mind. Weigh in and let us know. We have Seahawks Nike shirts on sale now for the grand total of just $15.99. Yeah, I heard that right, folks. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT is where you can get yours today. It's getting hot outside. You're looking for T-shirts. You want to rep your favorite team as well. And some Nike gear. Not too often we're talking about Nike gear having a cheap price. So why don't you take advantage of this? Chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. We also have other Seahawks merchandise available at that same link. Go see for yourself now. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT. Last on what they are saying when it comes to DeMarcus Lawrence of this surprising news already. And that's part of the surprise, too, is that this has escalated as quick as it has. I had high hopes for DeMarcus Lawrence, but to see the immediate impact is quite the surprise. He is setting the standard, all right? He is the example and telling the other guys, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to be, and this is how we're going to approach it. Julian Love, who's been here a few years now, Pro Bowl safety, he had this to say on DeMarcus Lawrence. He's been around, and he knows how to win football games. So you could just tell that when things were going right for us, he's vibing. When things aren't up to the standard, he kind of has a look to him like, this isn't good enough. And so I think he brings a standard to the defensive room. And I think just personality-wise, people love to be around him. He's been around the block. He works hard, and he's just a great addition. Mike Tomlin says it this way. The standard is the standard. And I know Mike Tomlin obviously isn't the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. He's in Pittsburgh. But I think that's a mentality that you can see that DeMarcus Lawrence is bringing on board to this Seahawks team, that they are not settling, that they are not going to be okay with mediocrity. They're not going to take plays off. They're going to hold each other accountable. The DeMarcus Lawrence signing, to kind of put a bow on this, folks, when he was brought in, I think we all said to ourselves, that's a lot of money for an older player that has been banged up a bit. But what we're seeing, I think, in the investment that John Schneider made with this signing is that it goes beyond even just what DeMarcus Lawrence does. But what we're seeing is that he's setting the tone, and he's putting everyone else on path, on course to do their job and get the most out of everybody. And when you get that type of player that can make everyone else around him better besides just himself, then you can justify maybe paying him a little bit more money than what some people would think he was worth. To me, I think it's a great sign for Seattle going forward, and certainly excited to have him here. Who will be the best player on the Seahawks defense this year? Will it be DeMarcus Lawrence? Could it be Devin Witherspoon, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones? What do you guys think? No wrong answers, just curious. Tell me what you believe in the comment section below. You enjoyed today's show? You want to show some love to DeMarcus Lawrence? Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.